All right. Let's get the ERA Fenrir unboxed and see what this kit has in store for us. Because the unboxing part is going to be a little bit noisy. But very quickly we're going to switch over to the building. Let's get some parts out of the way. Oh, it's quite a big box. Not as big as a perfect rate. Usually perfect rates are a little bit bigger, but still it's got decent size to it. Everything seems to be packed neatly in a pretty large slide out. Let's flip it over. All right, look at this beautiful box. I like this. Very nice experience. Very beautiful printing on this. Can probably even use this as a backdrop for some photos. Looks really nice. Gonna be careful with that part. Don't want to ruin it. And let's see what we got in terms of runners. So we have the usual inera markings. I do not see plastic type indication, so nothing new there. Have a couple of black runners, Y and S. A seems to be inner frame plastic. Very typical inera printing, very crisp. Once again, no plastic indicators. J for red. Some plated plastic. Seems to be like coppery gold. GX. So what else we got here? F. Transparent. O. Seems to be pretty clear. So this seems to be... Oh, this is very similar to the Bandai, like multi-stage. Seems to be a multi-stage printing runner where these parts, when you cut them off, you can then, they bend. So it's like pre-assembled, pre-molded joints. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. What else we got here? K. Black plastic seems to have some texture to it. White seems to be a bit pearly. We'll see better when it's out of the packet. 2P runners. Seems to be armor. Gray ZX. Dark gray D. Inner frame by the looks of it. ZW, seems to be like effect parts. V, more inner frame, quite small parts. Everything seems to be in good condition so far. Gray and a little bit of a color swirl there on this one. For sure, just a little bit. Well, looks not too bad. Seems like there's a very slight texture to most of the white and black armor plastic. More inner frame runners, E and E. Quite small parts, I like that. More inner frame, seems like legs, bigger joints, bigger parts. B and V, some wires. Similar to what we got in PGU New. some water decals, 3D stickers, the regular base plate, themed after the kit. Let's see if the 3D stickers are thicker type or a more traditional thin one. Let's see. Oh yeah, it seems to be like infinite dimension Nemesis. So in your thicker type of 3D stickers, that's good. It's good to see. I think it should be standard these days now. And we got the guide, soft cover. Oh, the guide does tell us the plastic types. It's all ABS. I guess that's why they don't say it on a runner, because it's all the same. But it's good to see that they say ABS and pre-painted ABS. So the plated plastic, they call it pre-painted. It seems like we have some joints pre-assembled. That's good. I wonder if it's the only option or if we have an option to assemble our own joints from ABS or use the pre-assembled joints that are usually quite stiff. That's good stuff. Oh, and this is a multicolored. Very nice. So in here they even, per stage, they tell you what runners you need, what parts of the runners you need, how many of them, and the color of the runner. That is very convenient. It's nice. It's a way to kind of save up on splitting up parts into runners, yet give you the same kind of level of experience. I like that. Let's see what we have on this other box. More silver plated plastic. A lot more silver plated plastic. WHI. More white plastic Z. More like beige almost. And the U inner frame. Seems like that's accessories. In here we have more black plastic with a very slight texture. Alright. Then we have C. Inner frame seems to be upper body and hands. Then gray plastic M. Looks good. Oops. Yeah, we do have pre-assembled joints. That's good. More inner frame, accessories. Looks like we're gonna have a couple of guns. I don't remember what it's supposed to have. Then inside the box we have pre-assembled joints. Let's have a look at those. Alright, so they're plastic, they're not metal joints. Let's see the waist. The thighs. Well, they are not too stiff actually, they're quite alright. They don't squeak. I'm not sure what material it is. It doesn't feel like POM, but I might be wrong. It feels a bit different from the usual POM. Doesn't look too stiff. You can fairly easily disassemble them. Alright. I don't think it's a very large kit that this will be a problem, but it might be. Usually the pre-assembled joints out of the box are like super duper stiff. I remember on the Sky Defender the pre-assembled joints were extremely stiff. These are quite malleable. Almost wonder if they could have let us assemble it ourselves. Anyway, we'll see. I won't judge it quite yet. Need to build it first. And then we have traditional standard rolled zeros. What the hell does that mean? Standard inera action-based parts. So let's get the box out of the way. Let's get the runner docks. And let's unbox all of this. Count the runners maybe as well. Let me get this charger out of the way so it doesn't take space. Where's my runner and dock? all 4 of them. That'll be 1. Let's get the second one set up as well immediately. I think I'm gonna need all 4 runner and dock. There's a lot of runners here. Hopefully they are wide enough to support these runners actually. It's not always the case. Yeah, maybe. They should be fine. Zoom out a little bit so you guys can see. Just need to set up the runners and dock real quick. So I have a place to store all the runners. And then we can begin the snap build. There we go. Boom, that's 2. I need 2 more, but let's first unbox some of the runners. Let's get my scissors. So, let's get all the inner frames in one spot first. So that would be E and E. It's pretty good. A lot of really small parts. I like to see that. In 172 scale kit, having a lot of room for inner frame and activities. Always nice to see. Slide it right there. Let's get this out of the way. There's more inner frame. ZX. It looks not too bad. There are some color swirls on the gray plastic. They're not super duper obvious. Usually ERA has pretty good plastic quality. So far I don't see any big issues or red flags. This is what more inner frame. Yep. A lot of repetitive parts. This might be the tail thingy. Oh, some runners are too wide for the runner and dock. That's not good. ZW, white plastic. Looks a bit pearly. Looks good, not too bad. Yeah, looks good. Slide it in there. This is armor. Oh, let's have a look at that. I don't think I've seen in ERA do the same thing Bandai does for their like articulated hands, like multi-stage printing process. But this looks pretty good. So all of this is supposed to be articulated when you cut it off and clean up. That might be new for an ERA. It's good on them. I don't think they've done this before. More inner frame. This might be too large for the runner and dog. Yep, it is. So some runners are gonna have to go on their individual stands. Silver plated plastic. The plating seems to be very consistent, double-sided. Very consistent, thick. In ERA is pretty good with plastic plating. Never had any problems. And they've been good at it for years, since Aurora, if not before. What else do we have here? More inner frame. This is accessories inner frame by the looks of it. Yeah, similar to runner's tee. Nothing special here. Usual crisp molding. We'll have to see that. Let's put it in here. Let's get more silver plated runners out of the way. Yeah, ERA is really good at plating their runners. It's always super crisp. I like that. Individual packaging on the runners, quite a lot of it. But not all. For the gray plastic, yeah, more color swirls. They're less visible when they're on white and gray, but you can still see them. There's a little bit of a texture, so it will look quite decent without top coating. Good, so far. Seeing the typical in ERA, rather high standard of plastic. Some hands, upper body parts or waist. We'll see. Get to that in a sec. Black plastic. Looks pretty good. There is texture for sure on a black plastic. Has a nice matte-ish finish. Yeah, definitely. The color swirls are quite present though. Not bad in here. Let's slide you over there. Let's see what the gold runners look like. And they look very good. Every single nook and cranny is evenly coated. Both sides of the runner, undergated. Good stuff. Love to see that. Oh, one part fell off. Just be careful not to lose this. Yeah, this is very reminiscent of the Aurora type of gold. I really enjoyed building that kit. It is still on the shelf in my collection. Slide it in there. More inner frame plastic for the accessories. Seems like a longer gun part. And the accessories for the armor for the same. I don't see the typical inera circle with a line through it. Oh yeah, there we go. There it is. Usually this particular design element is everywhere on their own kits. Not sure if the camera is going to focus on that. It might be too bright. Yeah, it is. Let's see if I can show it. Right there. Where's that thing? Right there. Can I find the focus spot? Right there. Yeah, ish. It's interesting to see. It's usually inera puts this particular design element like everywhere. It's too large for the runner and dock. Very large effect parts. Gold plated. Really good plating as always. They're gated. Not everywhere though. Interesting. It's just too large for the runner and dock as well. These are gonna go on the stands. Made it a little too dark. Brighten up the image a little bit. There we go. This looks like legs in her frame. Oop. Yeah, I don't see those like circle elements more. Usually inera has a bunch of them. Interesting. Stepped away from that. But there's a lot of like mechanical design. Looks pretty cool. Looks very, very cool. So far the runners remind me a lot of the inera Aurora runners. Because that kit had like a steampunky mechanical design. It seems that Fenrir shares some pedigree with it. Oh, we have a little pilot even, look at that. Seems like they're gonna go into the cockpit, they have a little gas mask. Looks cool, I like that. Let's put it right there. More gray plastic. This runner looks really crisp. Some really good lines for panel lining. Steady is gonna come in handy here with a water-based panel liner. Granted, all of this is ABS, so gonna have to be careful. Oh, more parts that have fallen off the runners. I guess the gates are very thin on some of them. Q, white. Looks pretty good. Yep. And here, more black plastic. Same old slight texture. And a few of these parts can be silver lined very nicely. Some color swirls as well. It's like color swirl is gonna be the word of the month for me for March. Used it so much in the PGA New review. I think I'm gonna need another runner and dock. Maybe even two. I think there is enough runners that can fit. Oh, this looks really good. High quality transparent plastic. And also a softer one. It's what SNAA does with theirs. And it works really well. Very large inner frame runner. Head looks like thighs, front thighs, back or chest, upper chest. This is even more reminiscent of inera Aurora. What about here? Some red plastic, like deep red, similar to what we got on Lizard. Love to see that. And I think last few runners, very large black parts. Is this the tail? Probably, not sure. Because there is that, or maybe it's the large sword. Other repetitive parts. Black parts, once again done not too bad. Some texture there, especially here, it's quite prominent, the texture. I like that, it's very consistent. They really want to make sure that you have a good experience with the out-of-the-box plastic finish. Okay, let's get maybe, let's see, is gonna fit on runner and dock? Yes. So will this, what about this? Not a chance. Okay, this is gonna go in a stand. What about these? Yep. This as well. What are these things? Is that supposed to like stand on its own? No, I don't think so. Usually these things are so the runners don't press against each other, or at least the parts. This is definitely not gonna fit. What about this? Yeah, it fits. This, not a chance. Not a chance. Base, we're gonna build it first. Okay, I'm gonna grab another runner and dock real quick. Ah, oh, damn it. There we go. I think I'm gonna double space them. Maybe even triple space. those runners have those standoffs, so I need a bit more room. Need 2 more. Let's fish them out of the slot. There we go. Let's put you right there. This little guy can go up here. And then we need a few runner stands for the bigger guys. Let's find a container with the runner clips. There we go. I never like when they make these things on the side where I would attach a clip. I don't think it's gonna fit. Maybe it will. Alright, good. Let's see what else we got. Those little snubbins. Gonna have to snip them off. Oops. More nubbins, more nubbins. And a few more large runners. And we're good to start the build. More nubbins. Dude even think has nubbins. Get out of here. Boom, that's it. Then we only have the action-based runners, which I'm gonna build immediately. Let's get this container out of here. Let's clean up the desk and get on with the build. Where's my dust cleaner? There it is. Oh, what's going on? Why did it disconnect? Oh, still working. Good. All right. I need my manual standoff, and then I'm good to finally sit down. Boom. All right. Let's get the tools unboxed. I am definitely going to need these and these. Spongers. Oh man, when I degrease them, they still have some rust coming out of them. The nippers. Interesting. Well, degreased is just that anti-rust oil thing from study. How do they get so rusty? Let's wipe them off. There we go. All right. Let's get a brush. Files. Good old hammer. Let's get the poker and a knife. Probably a couple of large tweezers. These ones. Yeah. And angled ones. Should be good to go. Although I probably should change the blade on my knife after PGU new build. It did some hard time there. So which one of these is open? This one. Lost blade. Oh. There we go. The action base is like exactly the same standard in ERA stuff. And the action base has a bunch of these circle design elements here, here, here. Usually they have them all over the kit. I didn't notice a lot of that on the main body though, like on those runners. Maybe I just missed them during the unboxing, we'll see later when I get around to them. What do we have for the 3D? Not what the 3D, but for the water decals. Okay, let's see. A couple of foil stickers. The plate. Promotional picture. The kit name. So they have them separated in sections. I think they've started doing that on the last few kits they released. Seem to be pretty good. Pretty precise, vibrant colors. A few of them, not too many, not too few. Good. Oh, dude, this freaking sticky tape. I could just hate them. There we go. And you're gonna go right there. All right, let's crack open the manual and get to work. Let's make sure we don't lose the parts that fell off the runners, because that would be a problem. So they also have like a three-phased approach, but a much simpler phase is just entire inner frame, along with the layers of details, then the armor, then the... Oh, that's the tail thing, yep. Then the armor, and then the accessories, kind of all in one shot. What do we have here? Fighter, so that's a cockpit. Then we have legs. Waist. All of it is inner frame. Then we go to the torso, chest. Arms. Head. Then we go the armor. Then we switch over to accessories. Okay, let's get the action base down first, so we can, and then we're probably gonna work off of standard process probably. Because I don't believe they attach. Usually it's crotch in ERA kits that attaches to the inner frame, to the stand. We'll see. Let's get the action base assembled real quick so we can use it as a posing station. It's a very quiet chat today. quite unusual. Usually we have a few messages, a few chatters. Well, maybe it's just a quiet day. I really like these inera action bases. They are very sturdy, very nicely constructed. They look nice as well. I used mine for Thunderbolt. That came with Thunderbolt. I use it for Himochi and Tor. It's like perfect for it, and that kit is way too big and heavy for like action base 1 or 3. I wish they sold these separately. Probably grab a few. They've had this design for a while as well. Very nicely done. Reliable. Let's maybe zoom in a little. There we go. So it's easier to see the working area. The music stopped playing. Hold on. Let me try to fix that. There we go. Hopefully now the music is back. Don't know why it sometimes stops on its own. super thick gate. Whoa. It's like a 1/2 centimeter gate there. Dang. Same super thick gates. Just get them cut off with a double-sided nipper, not to risk any damage. All right, let's assemble the action base. I think these parts go together. This guy goes to this side. Looks the same on both sides. Yeah, it does. Alright, cool. Then it has those buttons. Yo! Hello, Ken Booze. How are you doing? Will I be panel lining the inner frame of this kit? I do not yet know, my good friend. It all depends on if I feel like doing so. We'll see. We'll see. So far, unboxing the runners, this kit is very reminiscent of the... Oh, come on, let's stick it around here. It's very reminiscent of the inera Aurora kit. It's very reminiscent of the inera Aurora kit. I can look at the, based on what I can see in the design elements on some of the runners. There's a lot of like common themes there. Whether I'm going to be panel lining it or not, I'm not entirely sure. The inner frame on this one is, you can see it here, it's quite dark, so panel lines won't really stick out. What I tend to do on the inera kits, like I did with the Lizard, for example, I tend to actually detail the inner frame with, what's it called? Markers. I would use different felt tip markers, like these PA ones, and I would try to detail up different parts of the inner frame mold, like tubes and stuff like that. So I might end up doing that if I feel like that would give this kit an extra pop. Time will tell. I usually tend to assemble the part first and then see what I would like to do with it. Hey Doofy, do you know if it can be displayed without its tail? I have no idea yet, my friend. I'm just starting to build on the Fenrir, as you can see. At the moment, for me, this kit is just a bunch of runners. Hopefully soon enough, I'll have it assembled and I'll be able to tell you. from what I can see on the pictures, the tail is like an accessory. It can be attached to the back as a tail. It seems like it can be also attached to a weapon. So it's quite modular, from what I can gather at least. Are you building this kit as well, Ken? Oh, it's very clicky. Stand. Come on. There we go. You have both the Aurora and Thunderbolt 2.0, but on the Thunderbolt's inner frame. Did you do the original Thunderbolt or the only the 2.0, the Manta Ray? Because on the original one, I believe the inner frame was like light-ish blue color, and on that one I also panel lined it because the color contrast was kind of enough to show the panel lining. But I believe you only have 2.0. I also have 2.0. I do not remember. I think I panel lined the 2.0 inner frame as well because it's like bright gray. Like not very bright, but like a lighter shade of gray on a 2.0. I think. I definitely went all out on the armor there because I silver lined, top coated the full shebang there on the armor. But on the inner frame, I'm gonna have to consult my own video or pictures because it's been a little while since I finished that. Whoa. Dude, that action base is stiff and tough. But yeah, this inner frame is quite dark. This is very dark gray, very similar to I think what Lizard has in terms of color. For the Aurora, I don't believe Aurora has much of the inner frame because it's a metal inner frame, pre-assembled gold. You saw my build? Yeah, thank you very much. I was quite proud of that one. It turned out quite nicely. Little green goblin on that Manta Ray unit surfing around. I saw that like some time ago Cosmos teased an LED kit for it, but it's gonna they never dropped it. Weird. All right, the action base is done. Yeah, so like if the inner frame is like dark, very dark, then I tend not to panel line it because you won't see it anyway. I really like how they made this, the guide part. It's very similar to what Bandai did, but they tell you like exactly which part on the runner you will need. I like that. Really like that. Cool stuff. I have Defender in my backlog, but unfortunately I still have Nemesis, Sky Defender, Active Shit, Solomon backlog, so that's going to be a while for me. Oh, you have a crazy backlog. That is a crazy backlog. Every single one of those kits is arguably the best kit ever. Yeah, I love all of them. Nemesis, Sky Defender, Axis. Whew. I haven't done Solomon GP02, but I've heard a lot of good things about that, so you can't go wrong with any of them. Which one do you think you're gonna build next? C, D, E, F. D, E, F. They're all dark. F is gold. E. Where's runner D? Here we go. We'll take the action base away so it doesn't take space on the desk. Let's see. D, E, F, H. H is a brighter color. Where is H? Runner H, where are you hiding? What color is it supposed to be? Something bright. Does it mean it's silver? Yes. Alright. K-L-O. Here's K. That was supposed to be dark as well. That's L. O is supposed to be this, and R is supposed to be white. And R. Right now you're doing SNA Tristan and Percival, well, then Nemesis. And you have Cosmos Kit for the Nemesis. Oh, that's... I don't think I've done Tristan and Percival. No, I have not done those. But every SNA kit is, at least the one that I've come across so far, has been amazing. So that's a very good experience, I hope. 4, 5, R. 4, 5, 6, 7, 21. Okay, 4, 5. 6 and 7. And 21. Where's 21? There we go. Oh, it's a little pilot. And you have Cosmos Kit for Nemesis. What do you think about this kit? I did not buy that one. It wasn't impressed by it, honestly, not to criticize the Cosmos LED kit, but I thought that they kind of went a bit lazy, because from what I remember, that kit has external lights that's sort of like part of the action base, but they point at the kit. So I was like, hey, that's usually I expect Cosmos to do some sort of modification to the kit itself. I was kind of underwhelmed looking at that and decided not to buy it. I did a very simple LED mod to my Nemesis build, where I added a tiny red LED wire to the head unit and to the pilot's cockpit at the back. And that was like kind of enough for me. I saw some like crazy professional builders adding LEDs to every purple part on the inside, and that looked absolutely phenomenal, but that's like way beyond my skill level. But Nemesis is such a great build, dude. It is such a great build. The backpack that they made on Nemesis is phenomenal. The whole like modularity thing of it, it's so many accessories in one, and you can like configure it different ways. And the kit itself, there's so much plated plastic, and I think they give you an option to use red parts for the armor, like just plain red, or plated blue plastic. And that plating is so good. Like in Aurora, it's like thick, good plating. Really nice kit, and the final result is so mean. I was so impressed by it. Still am. Still like sneak a quick look at it. It's in a very prominent place in my collection. K12. Do we need all K12s? Probably. is an awesome kit, Nemesis. It will be your first kit with LEDs and having lights for the base gives off Pacific Rim vibes. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in terms of, I would imagine, like, build difficulty in terms of light installation, I would imagine Nemesis is the easiest, so it's a good one to get your, you know, familiarity, I guess, with how to work with LEDs in a way that, you know, how to connect them and stuff like that. Cosmos is usually pretty good at dropping manual videos for their LED kits that require, you know, some modification to the kit. Also, whenever I decide to do Cosmos kits, I try to at least make an additional instructional video showing step by step with up-close pictures how to install it. I haven't done that many of them though, and I've done a few before I started like properly filming my builds. Did you have to send any joints on the Nemesis with the Thunderbolt 2.0? I had to send all the pegs, but I forgot to send the connectors for the manta ray for the gun swords to connect to, so they snapped off, unfortunately. Oh, I did not have to do that. Quite frankly, I had never had any fitment issues with an inera kit. Very. That's not good, man. 789. That is very not bueno. The only time, one time I had a minor issue with an inera kit fitment was on the Aurora, and that was kind of fitment struggles between the metal inner frame, the pre-assembled metal inner frame, and the plastic part on the back of the skirt, from what I remember. And I think I pointed it out in the video, and the way I fixed it was some little bit of blue tack. The part was basically loose. But having to sand pegs, it's new to me. It's not good to hear. Not good, Bandai. Inera. Managed to have it in manta ray mode. Yeah, that's how I have mine. I have a 35, 36. I have my Thunderbolt 2.0 as like Green Goblin, so it stands on top of the manta ray unit, kind of balancing on top of it. I had to pay for that pose a couple of times when I bumped into the shelf that it stands on, and that guy flew several times. It was not cool. Bit of a hard dark moment. But I think it has to be posed with a manta ray, like standing on top of the manta ray unit. It's kind of mandatory pose for it. Interesting, I didn't have any problems with with the Aurora. Maybe their QC is not super duper consistent in ERA. I mean, I cannot really attest to it. I mean, I only ever have one copy of a kit for my own build, and that's it. But having to sand all the packs, that doesn't sound very good, man. That would sour my impressions of a kit for sure. I remember Thunderbolt 2.0 inner frame being very similar, at least in my experience, to the Thunderbolt 1.0 inner frame, in a way that it was incredibly stiff, especially for a plastic inner frame. It was super stiff, and I used this little fella quite a bit, the little mallet with a rubber pad here so you don't break the plastic, and my plastic nose pliers. but I did not send any packs. I thought that it's supposed to be, I thought it's supposed to be quite stiff in order to, you know, support the extra weight, because even the 1.0 Thunderbolt came with a massive backpack and a massive railgun. So I was like, all right, well, I guess you guys are using plastic, not metal, for the inner frame, so you have to make it super duper stiff. Snap fit was amazing for the joints. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I feel you. Didn't want to break any of the bags. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have to do that. I know, like for mine, it was stiff, like proper stiff, but I didn't send. I just forced them pretty much, and I worked them a little bit. So what I did is, for some of those bags, I would like, oh, actually, that will be when you're gonna be building. Sorry, 9, 11, 12. Oh crap! I should not have snapped that one off. When you're gonna be building, what's his name? Sky Defender. That one uses POM joints. They are extremely tough. Oh my goodness. They will make your thumbs cry. But that's on purpose. Even the manual itself, like Sky Defender, the manual for Sky Defender is by far the best manual to have ever existed. And they have like small disclaimer boxes or like warning boxes on top of regular manual stuff. And they even have like QR codes, I think, there that point you at the link, at the like YouTube videos, short videos showing you exactly how to assemble a certain joint and stuff like that, because it's that stiff. But the experience building that one is good, and they go out of their way to explain like, yes, it's supposed to be tough, blah blah blah. I'm still to find a kit that rivals, in terms of like building experience and guide, that rivals Sky Defender. Still the best. A lot of other makers are stepping up their game, like even with PGU new, Bandai improved their building experience, where they have these phases, and then they have stages, and then they have units. So it's like 3 categories of organizing your build, which makes a very large build like PGU New actually a very manageable experience, which is great. But they still stick to largely black and white print, very like space-saving approach on the page. I'm all for it, but I mean, it's supposed to be a super premium experience. And Sky Defender, at least to me at the time of release, when I bought it, was less than half the price of PGU New. And it came with a very thick hardcover booklet. It's a very different experience. The gold plastic on the, like the gold plated plastic on the Fenrir is very reminiscent of the Aurora kit. Seems to be similar-ish gold shade, and very good coverage as well, like really well done. Very even, thick. Your Thunderbolt is still very stiff even after sending. Oh, interesting. Yeah, man, it seems like your copy had a bit of a QC issue in it. My Thunderbolt is stiff-ish, but like nothing like, unusual. It's just firm, I would say. Although I might be completely blanking, I would need to maybe rewatch my own video to refresh some of the memories. For all I can say, I might be talking out of my ass right now. And if you check back the video, I say a bunch of stuff like, "Oh, this inner frame is bad." I don't remember. Usually I would remember if it was something really bad. You like the blue plastic on the Aurora? Had a certain texture to it. Yeah, if I remember, I have it. Should be not far away from me right now. Aurora has a lot of that armor plastic that is pre-painted out of the box, and it's like super thick blue even coat of paint, very high quality, very matte, very textury as well. So it's it's the same as what they had in Nemesis. I think Nemesis has roughly the same blue plastic. I think I'm pointing out in the video that Nemesis is a bit of a thinner coat of paint, not quite as rough texture as we had in Aurora. Which is still fine. It's a very fine detail point. But yeah, Aurora was phenomenal. Aurora was, I think, one of my, if not the first inera kit I built, and I was absolutely floored by it. The plastic quality was really good. The design was really good. That steampunky mecha design was really cool. And the plating was phenomenal. That spear is also really nice. The transparent effect parts are really good on that kit too. I did a little LED mod to mine, so it has a light up head unit camera thing. I wonder if I should cut this off. Maybe not. Yes, I should. Very thick kit there. Anything an ERA puts on is a must buy, in my opinion. Yep, same here. I don't think I've missed a single release from them ever since I started kind of following them. And I believe the Infinite Dimension is pretty much the same company. Or they're like related or something like that. And so is Ainta that dropped Sky Defender. At least that's my layman understanding. I'm not a market expert by any means. I know that Infinite Dimension basically in here. All right, nice, good to know. Are they like related companies run by the same people, or they just release kits under different names for some reason? But yeah, I think when I did Aurora, then I did Thunderbolt 1, then there was Lizard, then there was Nemesis, then there was Thunderbolt 2. Now we have Fenrir. I know the kits before, oh crap, I don't remember the name of the kit. Maybe it was Trailblazer or something like that. When they released Nemesis, they said the Nemesis was the antagonist kit from their earlier kit series. I don't remember what that kit was named. I didn't build that one, even though a friend of mine gifted it to me to build at some point to complete the collection, but I don't know when I'm going to get around to building it. Probably a sister company. I'm not too familiar with it myself, just confirmed by people they are both affiliated with one another. All right, cool, makes sense. They do have equally, I would say, good plastic quality and build experience from their releases. so it's good to see. And they seem to like really like care about what they release, not just drop a bunch of stuff and recolors, but you know, try to come up with an interesting design, think it all through, not rush it. I'm looking forward to a what's it called, Skyblaze, I believe, the next Infinite Dimension kit that is collaboration with some other company, and it's 1/72 scale and it's supposed to be massive, so I'm looking forward to that. They sort of recently released or revealed the color scheme for it, and it looks very promising. Yes, I saw the preview video. I actually even reposted it on my channel, just to give it a bit more exposure. But yeah, I believe Fenrir is 1/72, so he is the Nemesis. But the size of the Nemesis is a bit unusual for a kit because of the absolutely ginormous backpack it has, and also the dedicated action base. It's massive. It's just no other way around it. The Fenrir seems, it has a standard inera base similar to what you have on the Thunderbolt 2.0. Which I was saying earlier, I wish we could buy those action bases from inera separately, because I would prefer them over quite a few, like Action Base 1 and 3 from Bandai. Those are a bit flimsy for heavier, weightier kits. They have a recolor. Oh, I saw that. I saw the contrast version release for Thunderbolt 2.0. Not my kind of cup of tea, but I would imagine that kit will find, even in recolor reprint, it will find its audience. Still a very good build. I prefer the original. It gives that nautical vibes. You know what kit I would buy and build again? If they made a recolor, Sky Defender. I wouldn't even think twice. Yeah, that's 100% of my backlog. Animaster. Oh yes, Animaster, that's the name of the company. Yeah, you got it. Yep. Going into my backlog for sure. That thing looks so mean, and the action base on that Skyblaze looks like it's a like 2-tier elevated action base with like leg stands. It looks so mean, that kit. Very like aerial type of design, like very aircraft inspired thing. It's just something about the design got me so excited about it. Especially after they released the color scheme. I was like, ooh, come on. Hurry up. Don't know why I'm saying hurry up. I have so many kits in the backlog. I don't think I'll ever be able to build all of them, because the new ones drop faster than I can build the old ones. Basically in my backlog, as of late, I don't even pull anything out of my backlog. It's just whatever arrives and I want to build, I build it, so it never goes into the backlog storage unit, because if it does, chances are it will never get out of there. Freaking graveyard of kits. Nemesis has limited edition gloss black color. Oh, interesting. I didn't know. I thought Nera didn't do these limited edition kind of stuff, but it seems like they do. Granted, I don't do like any research. I see what Gundam has on offer, and I just, you know, check their page every once in a while. Sometimes they would message me about new availability of new things that have review samples. But I don't really like follow any pages or resources to be appraised of the new releases, because there are so many. I think when I just started in a hobby, I was following Reddits, a bunch of Facebook pages, a bunch of channels, and that's when I acquired way too many kits. And at this stage I'm like, okay, well, I have a couple of stores that I follow, I have a couple of pages that I follow, and I check in, see if I really like something, and only then I buy it. But other than that, I try not to buy every release, because I cannot build them fast enough. It's not my full-time gig. But I'm not surprised they have recolors of Nemesis. It's a phenomenal kit. It's a really cool design. I can see how it can look dope in like jet black execution. It's very mean looking kit. Mind the noise. Okay, let's assemble the cockpit. I might actually first paint this little figure. Yeah, let's do that first. The Nemesis, right now I'm on the inera Ruin Chinese New Year edition. It's basically the Ruin but in white and green. Doing reprints of it. Okay, let me quickly Google. I think maybe Ruin is the one that my friend gifted me. In ERA Ruin. Sorry, I'm just googling off camera so I don't dox myself. In ERA. Oh yeah, I see they have it on offer. Condemn it. I see that the recolor of Thunderbolt is still on offer as well. Yeah, so I believe, maybe I'm wrong. Let me see, where is Infinite Dimension? Infinite Dimension. Infinite Dimension. It's Genesis, that's the one I have. So I don't have Ruin. So Nemesis is the antagonist kit for the earlier release from Infinite Dimension. I have this in my backlog. I don't know if it's showing up on the camera. So I have this in my backlog, and I'll build it soon enough and pose it next to my Nemesis. But in Ruin, I don't have it. I don't have it in the backlog, to be honest with you. Kind of overseen it. Interesting. It looks pretty cool. I like it. It's very reminiscent of the Lancelot of the Lake Moshow Toys figure. I like this white and green design. Interesting. I'll have to ask if they maybe have like a review sample of it, something like that. Although it might be too late for review samples. It's been out for a while by the looks of it. But I like the white version of it more than I do like the purple. Purple is a bit boring. It's the booklet for the Nemesis, they have the art. Yes, by the side with the Genesis, yeah, so I have Genesis. That was a birthday gift last year, I believe. It was a very nice and thoughtful birthday gift. Okay, well, it has the metal inner frame just like the Aurora. Interesting. Yeah, it seems like it's an older release from ERA, where they used to rely on metal inner frames more. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, Aurora has been in the... So I've had it in a pose where it has both arms extended, Aurora, and one arm is holding this spike thingy. I don't remember what it's called. Spear, that's the right word. It holds the spear extended, and another one holds the gun to the side. They haven't sagged even a little bit. And it's been in that pose for at least 2 years now. So, those metal inner frames are really good. I'm not a huge fan of them though, like from the construction perspective. As a builder, I prefer when it's all plastic, because I get to kind of build it and stuff like that. But from the practicality, like for example, recently when I dropped the PGU new review, that thing would have probably benefited. I know Bandai doesn't do it at all, like metal inner frames, but I really was not a fan of the... Come on, let's attach that. I was not a fan of the waist construction on that one, because the waist on the PGU new is just so wonky and wobbly. It's very difficult to pose it. Like, really not a fan. All right, let's get... Where's my primer? I'm gonna use white primer on this thing. Yeah, for sure. Modern Nuclear does really cool thing with metal inner frames, where they only pre-assemble like the actual elbow joint, but not the entire inner frame. That was a cool approach, because it's like best of both worlds. You get to assemble the inner frame, but you get the stiffness of a stronger inner frame. And it seems like Fenrir does the same, because in a Fenrir you get this box, and these are not metal joints, these are plastic joints. Let me get it out of there. So these are pre-assembled. They don't seem to be extremely stiff, but they're like stiff enough. It's a bit weird that they have them pre-assembled, because they don't seem to be stiff enough to where you would need to assemble like a machine to press them together. I think that's what Nemesis did. I believe Nemesis or one of those kits, it came with some joints pre-assembled, and it gave you option to use pre-assembled joints that were like super duper stiff, or assemble your own, which is also a nice touch. But the same with the Fenrir, but these are not metal though. I need brushes, I need brushes. Okay, Nemesis had a pre-assembled POM joints, but you also give the option to build them. Yep, the Fenrir only comes with the POM joints. Okay, interesting. Yeah, for sure. I remember Nemesis joints being very, very sturdy, in a good way. But they were like, even the pre-assembled ones, articulating them was like, whew, was work, hard work. Yeah, dude, your build list is like bangers, one after the other. Once you're done with them, it'll be hard to find a kit that you'll be excited to build, because all of the ones you listed are just phenomenal kits. And phenomenal building experiences too. Just a little bit of primer on top of the figure for the pilot. Just hold on, I need to clean up the brush before it dries out. Where is my paint thinner? Oh, there we go. There it is. Actually give it to your friend. Bootleg MGs and AGs, and now they're gonna build Fenrir and Nemesis? Well, you're a very good friend. You shall get your friend addicted to plastic crack, as every good friend does. Dude, I don't think I've ever built bootlegs. I don't think I did, I don't remember. I wonder how those are, like what kind of experience that is. Bear with me, just cleaning the brush. Good, now I just need to let it dry out. Let's put you aside. Let's give it a few minutes to dry off, and then I'm gonna paint that pilot figure. Right on, man. Happy building. Some decals on the inner side. Some water decals on the inside. Or 51. And none of them is shiny one? Come on, man. Ah, there we go. There's one foil sticker. Or 3D sticker. 51 on the inside. Yeah, these are definitely the same thick 3D stickers as we get on the Infinite Dimension Nemesis. It's good to see that they're using them everywhere now. Seems like they made Bandai step up their game as well. Because clearly PGU uses thicker, improved 3D stickers compared to what we got on PGRX 782 or the MGX Strike Freedom. Competition works. Oh, now I'm gonna have to find a zip bag or something like that. These sticky tape bags, I hate them. Let's fold you over. Maybe this will work. I think I might have to do the pilot painting first because they want you to assemble the cockpit fully immediately. Let's see if it's drying up. Still tacky. One sticker sheet, the G. Come on, there we go. Where's that underbelly part? There we go. Is that one supposed to stick? Oh, yeah. How's our pilot doing? A little bit tacky, but not too bad. So, can paint the pilot real quick. But then I'll need to let it dry too. Alright, let's get the pilot done. Do they have any suggestions to how they want it to look? Let's see. Nope, nothing for the pilot. Just do whatever you want. Nice, I like that. side. Where are my markers? Don't want any electroplated. Gray, maybe gray. Definitely not yellow. We got silver. What would stick well here? Maybe gray will actually. Bone, silver, green. Fire orange, that actually might be pretty cool. Blood red. Leather. Green black. I think I'll try blood red. No, fire orange. That's the one. For this, let's get a little paper towel. I don't know why Army Painter went with this method. The A key has a button on top, so you can activate the ink without having to press the tip in. Potentially create a bunch of mess. It's not a big deal, but there's a way more convenient way to do this. Okay. Just use this as a base coat for main body. Nice. Looks like a little jumper suit, like they had on those space missions in the 90s on the shuttle. I like this color. Now I think for the head, I want the helmet to be probably darker, not sure. Probably zoom in while I'm painting the figure. That way you can see it much better. This looks not too bad. So I think I'll make the helmet something bluish, or maybe bony. And I want these restraints to be contrasting color as well. We'll see. Let's pick another color. So for the restraints, I might use Gravelord Gray. Feeling like blue. I don't want yellow. Pillar bone. Bone can be actually a good choice here. It's a bit darker though. But bone might be good for the cockpit, for the helmet. Do I have a blue color? Yes, I do. Magic blue. I think blue will be good for the helmet and black will be good for the restraints. And then maybe on the chest we use bone. Yeah, let's see. Okay. Now where's my gray color? Gravelord Gray. Just what? Yep. Let's get the restraints painted very, very carefully. Need to zoom out because the camera is not really pointed at where I work. I'm gonna have to move it around later. I had to change my workspace a little bit because of the PGU new review. The kit was so large I had to move things around and raise them a bit more. So it's a bit out of whack at the moment. white. And then I think the centerpiece can be another color. And we'll have a feisty little pilot. So that was fire giant. Well, that one in the center. It's definitely gonna have to be another color. I wonder if it's gonna be something super dark like black, or maybe another tone. Let's see what are the options. It's not that many options. Are those Army Painter better than AK markers? No, they play markers. Depends on which ones you mean. These are speed paint markers. I don't have many markers. I'm still kind of learning the ropes there. So I have these real colors. These are very different. These are soft, hardish tip. They don't flow. They're very good for highlights and edge lights. And these are play markers from AK. These are very similar to those. Both are acrylics, I believe. And these are actually a bit easier to use because on the Army Painters, you have to kind of take the tip off and then you have to dab it here to activate the paint to make it flow. And in here, you just press the button a bunch of times. So it's a bit easier to use. But I haven't done like head-to-head comparison between the two. So far I've used Army Painter more because I bought their starter set. Has a bunch of colors in it. Polished silver, hardened leather, blood red. Oh, maybe blood red. Maybe blood red for like a darker shade in the middle will be good contrast. Should look mean as well. Bit risky though. Yeah, why not? Why not? Yeah, so far I've used these Army Painter markers on pilots. I got them in January, I think. I've used them on the pilots for the PGO Rec-72 build. It worked out pretty well. Though I went with a non-standard color scheme for those. Though I like that one. And then I didn't paint the pilots for the PGO Neo. I'll do it later when I'm going to be revisiting that kit once the LEDs arrive. They are fairly easy to work with, and because this paint flows, the effect is so much nicer because it has a little bit of that thin paint capillary action where it kind of flows into smaller grooves. It pulls up a little bit because it's very thin, so it creates a bit of shading, even unintentionally. Just the tip is a little bit too large for pilot painting, so it's a bit heavy-handed. But it's still like an improvement for me, because otherwise I just don't paint pilots at all. So I guess for a rookie, for a newbie, it might be a good option. Though my friends that paint miniatures, they obviously consider it as a super duper basic thing. They rather advocate to buy paints, brushes, and do it proper. Which I will at some point. But I think it's better to do markers than nothing at all. It just kind of gets you started on the path. That's how I justify it for now. Maybe a little bit of a touch up on blue will be a good idea. It was a bit of a challenge to find the army painters markers in Canada when they dropped. It seemed like they were sold out everywhere. I was lucky to find it in one store at a decent price. I hope they are more available now, wherever you are. They seem worth it. I don't know. I'm enjoying them. A little bit of primer, a little bit of marker, and it looks like you brushed it, like you painted it with a brush. It's a fairly good return for a easy, low amount of work. Green black, I think I'm gonna touch it up with black, because that gray does not look contrasty enough. This blue marker seems to be a bit leaky. It's very wet. And it dries off flat as well. The speed paint markers, which is good. It's not too shiny. There are a couple of videos on YouTube of miniature painters painting some Warhammer miniatures with speed paint markers. I watched those. This one of them, the guy was painting a Tyrannid, I believe, and it instantly sold me on that. They made it look very easy because they're very good at what they do. But I figured, hey, if I can make it look 5% as good as they do, it's still good for me. I'm sure I'll get better the more I do it. But yeah, like if you compare them to the SPA markers, those don't flow. Those are just the paint sticks. And those I would usually use on inner frame of the kits, like detailing. That paint is sturdier. All right, here we go. Have a little painted pilot. The basic set is Amazon by brushes and also brothers paints. Yep, that's a better option. Because it's the same paint as you get in the Army Painter Speed Paint 3.0, I think. And it's much better to do that and get used to brushes rather than doing marker stuff. For me, I just don't want to buy a bunch of paints at the moment and a bunch of brushes, like an entire shebang. So I'm fine starting off with markers, and when I get bored or tired of those, or they're not enough, I'll buy paints and brushes and all that stuff. So here's the result. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. Where's the camera? There's a little painted pilot. Like a little bit of like an orangey fiery suit, like they had on the shuttle. Blue helmet, black braces, and fire red centerpiece. Looks a bit mean, maybe even burned, but I think it will fit the rest of the aesthetic of the kit. And it's already dry. Very nice. I don't know, that blue is a bit tanky. Let's give it a few minutes. I'm gonna grab some water in the meantime. Been talking for a few hours now. Oh, water is good. pilot in a cockpit. I'll probably use tweezers to manipulate him. Come on. It doesn't want to fit. Don't want to damage the paint. Oh, there we go. I think I'm going to take a quick picture of it before I close it up. Hold on a minute, I need to grab my camera. Dude, shaky hands on macro. Such a hassle. I don't want to get a tripod. Come on. There we go. Oh, the palette does not sit firmly in there. That's not good. It keeps getting out of that little slot, that pilot. I don't like that. Having to damage my own paint. Cheeky. Use that part. C3, where's gate mark there. It's a very non-trivial building. It's so different from Bandai. Such a different approach. This goes on the inside right there. Yep. I think I'm gonna detail those tubes before I close it up. What I like to do with the ERA kits is using gunmetal on the inner frame. Gives it a little bit of an extra pop. I have that marker somewhere on the side. Some of this inner frame definitely is bright enough to be panel lined. I can see it here now on the cockpit, but it seems like it's going to be covered immediately with armor, evident during this phase. But they do tend not to cover the tubes like this, so it's worth detailing them with something like a marker, like a metallic marker. I did a bunch of that on my lizard and it turned out pretty decent. Plus these paint is quite sturdy. It's not easy to wipe off or damage. Not impossible, but it's definitely sturdier than like speed paint if you don't do any top coats. It gives a bit of a contrast. Now very carefully, let's put the plating on top of it. Oh, crap. There we go. Oh, should have lowered this first. Quick redo. Come on. Come on. Oh, come on, man. Don't do this to me. Don't get stuck. Shoot. Ha, gotcha. Let's lower the cockpit top hatch. Dude, these are such a small parts, Jesus. That's why I like ERA so much. They make so intricate designs. They're like some of the best in terms of mechanical design and engineering. Many vendors don't really focus on that. Bandai does a phenomenal job with engineering details and designs. I think ERA is the only like third party that puts proper emphasis into mechanical design. This looks dope. I feel like Silverline in this. Oh, these guns are articulated but a bit finicky. Dude, this looks amazing. What's next? For this veneer, might actually use a silver marker to cover the nub marks. Yeah. It's one thing they haven't solved. Nobody has really, but these nub marks on the veneers. Are always an eyesore. So what I tend to do with the veneers is covering them with a silver marker. Let's grab that. Let's get the other side assembled. go. Let's let it dry out as well. Looks almost like the plated plastic from afar enough. And gold looks almost like it. Not quite, but good enough. What do they want now? Foil stickers on here. That'll be F. Okay. There we go. Can I attach it to these now without damaging the fresh paint? Maybe. Oh. Risky business. Come on. Hell yeah. There we go. Now the other side. Dude, I forgot how crisp and fine ERA printing is. It's just such a joy to work with ERA kits always. Such tiny parts. So well printed. So detailed. What handheld vacuum is that? It is a DSBIA handheld vacuum. I don't remember the model name, but if you check the description, pretty much any of my recent videos, you will see a link to DSBIA store that will give you 10% off actually. But yeah, this thing is a lifesaver. It's got a pretty large container, pretty large battery as well. Makes the nubbins clean up very easy. I used like a super duper basic desktop vacuum off of Amazon before that. That thing was super loud and rattly and all that. Then I got this vacuum from DSBIA and never looked back. It's got replaceable filters, even though I still haven't had to replace mine. It's been a few years. Still works. So yeah, recommend that. Seems pretty good, especially if you build a bunch. I think it's called ATHV, I think. As you might have noticed, I have a lot of DSPA stuff. Not affiliated with them though. They don't give me any free stuff or sponsor my videos. Just happen to buy a lot of their gear. Although I did reach out to them once, saying like, hey guys, kind of use a bunch of your stuff. If you ever want me to review any of your new tools, just let me know. They never responded. So I'm as independent as I can be with them. All bought with my own hard-earned money. So far, at least the vacuum is working really well. Dude, this cockpit thing is phenomenal. Look at this engineering. Super fine details, articulations, lighted mechanics. ERA never ceases to amaze. What a great design. Look at this core fighter. Freaking amazing. Bravo, just bravo ERA. My expectations were high. You still managed to exceed them. Where does this go? Oh, so these are just sleds for when you want to pose it separately, like that. It's such a cool design, man. Look at that. A little mean core fighter. Articulated wings in 2 places, in 3 places. Wow. The verniers are articulated. Those Vulcans are articulated. Does the cockpit op? Yes, the cockpit opens. Dude. In ERA, you crazy, dude. You crazy. Let's put it right there. I should not have cut that off, and this is a spare part, because they give you options. Hey, Wet Waffle Fries, how's it going, dude? Welcome to the stream. Can't wait for you to review that. I'll let it paint details about the inspiration from them. Hey, thanks, dude. Thanks, appreciate that. I cannot wait to build this bad boy. So far, building the cockpit. I mean, as I said, my expectations for ERA are very high. Pretty much the same as I have for Bandai. I expect perfection. I expect good execution, good experience, everything. Good design as well. And just from this little sample with the core fighter, I cannot wait to build the rest of this kit. It looks absolutely amazing. It's just uniqueness of the design. ERA is really good at that stuff. They like have their own versions. Obviously it's heavily inspired by Barbados, right? The entire kit. But the way they go about it, it's like completely different design philosophy and execution. And I like everything about it. These tiny, tiny parts that are difficult to work with. Mechanical details, steampunky tubes sticking out on the side. Call me a sucker. But I like this. I like it very much. But I think that's gonna be it for this stream, my friends. It's been a few hours. I'm pretty tired. I'm gonna go have some dinner, and then I'm probably gonna jump on this again I have a few days off next week, so I'll try to knock this out of the way very quick. Though the next video is going to be a figure review. I just received my Hot Toys Scorched Xenomorph, so I'm gonna probably film that tomorrow and drop it next week. And the next review build will be this. I hope you had a chance to check out my PGU review. Very proud of that video. I used a bunch of smoke for the effect parts and stuff like that, so hopefully you enjoyed that. The time-lapse build for that one will also drop next week. And other than that, if I don't see you in the next video, then I'll see you in the next live stream. I hope you all have a very good week ahead and the rest of the weekend too. And I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!